The idea of this lesson is to talk about apps and the internet. In this day and age, apps, mobile internet in general is something that's extremely important. And with this lesson, students are going to be able to talk about apps and things like this and describe these processes in English, which is, again, very important in this day and age. Students are watching a video now about apps and mobile technology. This is acting as a listening practice, and it's also to get them involved in the topic and to introduce them to some of the vocabulary that they could encounter later on in the lesson.
The darkly chilling script nags at you throughout to feel hopeless and lost. The demo can be played free online through your browser.
I'm now writing feedback and the answers on the board. This is good because students can now revert back to the board and check this with what they have. So if you open up your books to page 60, you'll find exactly what we've got here on the screen. Take a look at question 1. This is about getting lost in a new town or city. And what I'd like you to do with your partner is take a look at these pictures. And what do you use when you get lost in a town or city? Students are now discussing a question from the Kaplan book about what they do when they're lost. They're using the aid of some pictures as well, sort of mobile apps, maps, whether they trust their instinct. And with their partner, they're just seeing what they do in the situation when they get lost.
Yeah, I mean, usually when I get lost, if I have like internet, I try to use internet because it's easier. And I mean, it's with the map, you can go anywhere.
I like to ask people because they know how to explain better.
Yeah, they have maybe experience of the place.
What would you do if you got lost in a city that you don't know?
I use my smartphone to use Google Maps and GPS.
If you turn to page 61, which is the next page, you have a list of different nouns here and vocabulary in general. This is a list of features and functions and that sort of thing to do with mobile phones and iPads and stuff like this. With your partner, what do you think these mean?
I think main screen, it's the principal screen or map options when you have the app. Yeah.
On the GPS have the settings and you can record your house or where is the place frequently that you want to go.
Learners now have 5 or 6 subheadings, things such as mobile connectivity, GPS tracking and stuff like this. Learners are now going to listen to a conversation between a lady in a phone shop and a man who works in a phone shop. And what they're going to do is take notes on what they hear to do with these subheadings. This is actually developing quite a lot of skills such as note-taking. I'm now standing at the board listening to the students' feedback. Everything we have on the board mirrors what we have in the book. So everything I write, it's not going to disorientate students or anything like that. It's going to look the same. And I'm listening to what they have to say and writing their ideas in the corresponding places on the board. So if you look on the same page, you have a list of some verbs here and verbs with prepositions. What are the names of these verbs with prepositions? Stand up, sit down, phrasal verbs, exactly. So what I'd like you to do is see how much you remember from the listening activity and the audio, and together with your partner, work together and put these verbs and vocabulary in the correct place.
Not sure, but I think it's give the location. People usually say that, like give the location.
But I mean, even like
because like I don't think like she's going to tag the location. Like it's just I'm
but
here
usually if you
and
have
the
to
phone
do
tracks,
I mean, if you have to go from a place to another place, you have to select what is your location.
Turn on. And then open up the Roads app. Open up.
Learners are now in pairs or in a group of 3. Their task now is to design an app. They're going to show us what it looks like and give a presentation. The most important part for me and them really in this task is to make sure that they've used the language that I've given them in exactly the right way. To measure this, we're going to test them and ask them to produce a set of instructions of how to use their app. This is exactly how they're going to use the 20 language pieces that we've given them, and in the correct context as well. I noticed that 2 or 3 students didn't understand what the task was about, so I'm now sitting with those students and sort of explaining to them what to do and to help them out. Students are now working in pairs or in their groups. I'm monitoring and sort of walking around the classroom, giving them feedback and input, error correction, just making sure they're using the language that I've given them correctly.
To worry about putting on weight, and also you can keep count of the calories that you eat.
And you can check how much you exercised, or recommend what to do and what to exercise.
Yeah.
So we need to make it simple for the app.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, I know that, but you can try to, like, for WhatsApp, it's
yeah.
the others like ghost or something, so just one intention.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be round. No, okay, yeah, that's cool.
The students are now introducing their app. They're talking about what their app does, the name of their app, showing us sort of basic design of their app as well. And now they're also describing to us the instructions of how to use this app. And obviously this is the most important part for me. This is where I test that they know exactly what I've taught them.
Of course, once you downloaded it from the App Store, you will just click on the icon and wait for the app to open up.
The lesson again started with authentic materials, setting the topic, allowing students to personalize this topic and talk about this topic within their culture, their nationality and things like this in a productive way. Next we moved on to sort of feeding in the language of what we wanted them to practice and learn in this lesson, checking again for use, meaning, all correct. And then thirdly, with the presentation stage, this was really to give the students a more sort of free practice in using this vocabulary.